I got in this yesterday. Partner R22. I just show how it's looked like inside here. I only changed the fuel line because the fuel line was too it went through the hole, but it was too big for this intake on the carburetor, so it was leaking fuel here. That's the only thing I have done, beside of course cleaning it so it looks like a happy chainsaw. But I didn't take off the starter cover and did a really thorough cleaning. I found it not necessary because it looks fairly clean in the first place. So this has a 15-inch 3/8 chain on, 15-inch bar. Looks fairly good. I got it for extremely good price. He wanted to dump it on the garbage. I actually get it for $10 here in Sweden. And it should have a sharp chain on it even, he said. So I go and find a screwdriver, put the filter on. I just want to show how the mechanism is inside it. This type of chainsaws. Very simple build, simple throttle governors, easy to remove the carburetor. Just take off the 8mm screws here and the choke leveler here. You just take off a spacer here, which is locking it in place, taking out of the hole of the choke here. Same with the speed. And then it's loosen the screws straight off. And they have some kind of locking mechanism which is connected with the choke, which is locking the what it is, air intake on top of this diaphragm fuel pump cover. Some of them have this. You see it's moving down slightly, and I think you even can adjust it here with a very small screwdriver. So I don't know really what that's all about, but it's connected with the choke. So the choke even closes not only the venturi chamber but also the small little ventilation hole on top of the carburetor. And it's connected to the rod here for the choke, and it's moving up and down, closing the hole there. That's a little special about this chainsaw. I think it's a partner R22. So I found myself a screwdriver. Also I cleaned the air filter, of course. Could be a little tricky to find the threads. Found it there. Just tighten it slightly. Stop switch. I always mix when it's on and off. Because there is no inscription that tells it's on and off. This when choke is on, I guess it needs to be like that to start it. Down there to stop it. So I clean this. Clean enough. The chainsaw is clean. Could be a little tricky to get the box on. But a little exercise makes an expert. Okay, need to go forward. Bend this a little. There it's come. And it has this plastic gasket all around to seal for sawdust to enter into the. So it's very good sealed, the cylinder cover and the chamber where the carburetor is. Very good sealed. So looking nice and good for $10. And I know there is a stump behind the house here in the spruce wood. So I will test cut it there. But the man who sold it to me, he told me that it was good for bucking. But I don't think he used it for a long time. But it didn't look so bad in the first place. And I didn't make any carburetor rebuild or didn't do any work on it, except I changed the fuel line. I used the same fuel filter because it doesn't look old at all, and the fuel line was not old, but it was misfitting the carburetor, so it was a leaking fuel. It was slightly too big in inner diameter. So that's no big deal. The brake is working. Let's see if it's run. Yeah, the stop switch was on. Now it is off, so I can start it. So actually it started on first pull because it was off. The first pull I did, stop switch came down there. It was when I mounted the cylinder cover, I took it down. So I forgot to put it back again. So I got it in yesterday. It starts on first pull. Let's go and try to make a cut with it. I forgot to mention this also have this from exhaust, which make the handle warm, and one going back to the back. But I don't know how to start that. I think there should be a screw or adjustment screw here where you can open a valve so the exhaust is entering from yeah, there is actually a little screw, but I don't bother to do anything about that. No, but there is the exhaust out there into this cool heat pipes. So you have warm handle. So this is maybe a high value chainsaw. You even have the safety feature. Chain brake. Working perfectly. Old thing, I guess it's 50 years old. I'm not sure, but I think it's 55cc. First I tested on a small stump. Stump, I think, is the English word. So I get to know the chainsaw a little. It's oiling, good. It has fuel on it. I restarted it with the choke on. First time I use it, so I should not restart it with the choke on, because this chainsaw starts very easy. Means it got good with fuel on the first pull. I don't need to work the fuel pressure up by pulling sometimes to get the fuel pump activate fuel pressure. Some of the chainsaws, they have a non-leaking carburetor, and the valve is closing inside the carburetor. I think it's like that, the one-way valve, and the gaskets and everything is tight, not leaking. Some old chainsaws you need to pull maybe up to 10 times before it starts, but you get to know the chainsaw, it always starts, and you know that it's just old and have some issues about effective getting up the fuel pressure and fuel into the cylinder. But some chainsaws is other, they start at once, but when they do that you need to be careful not to drown them. It depends on a lot of details about the carburetor. It could be the spring or the needle or needle arm, how it's aligned, which makes it and if the carburetor is leaking or the one-way valve is 100% effective, means that the gasoline pressure could be enter at once. You have gasoline at once, then the chainsaw starts at once, maybe at second or first pull. I have some old chainsaws which is like that. Husqvarna and now this partner have the same kind of habit to start at once. Then you need to be careful with the choke, and depends on the temperature in the weather, because very easy to drown. So those old chainsaws that is very easy to start, be aware of that it's easy to drown, and then you need to make it dry up for sometimes. It depends on the chainsaw. So many of the old chainsaws, they have their own habits or mood or personality, so you get to know them. So now hopefully it will restart easy. I take another stump. So this is the second cut I did with it. I'm just rambling a little about personalities an old chainsaw can have, and then you get to know them. They have each individual kind of way of behave. But that's to me that's a part of how it is with old chainsaws. Ah, that was rotten. Is there something else I can cut over here? Didn't find much there. Starting to have no more wood to cut. Only stumps. This is a little rotten too. Yeah, there is one here. I could shorten that one. Aye, it's a bad shape that too. Everybody is in bad shape here. Oh, that one is hard. But it's very short. R22 partner. Yeah, I think I did a very good bargain there, Git. A lucky bargain, and it looks decent, even looks decent. A good bargain, definitely. A very good chainsaw. So I also bought two Jonsereds yesterday. One Jonsered 621 and one Jonsered 60 or Rocket. But I paid $60 for the Jonsered 621, and the seller, he didn't know anything about chainsaws, nothing. I just took the chance. But that chainsaw was not a good bargain at all, as it was totally no compression in it, and but I just bought it as it looked like, because I have one other 621 Jonsereds, and which I believe in and was impressed about, and I have a piston and cylinder with good compression from a Jonsered 60s, which I have the same cylinder and piston, but that one never behaved normally, because I think it's a leak in the seals and such. So I can just change the cylinder and piston over and see if I have a very good 621 Jonsereds coming out of it anyway. The other thing, it didn't have any spark, but hopefully it's just the points need to be cleaned and sanded. But the other Jonsered 60 I bought yesterday was need just a carburetor rebuilt, and look on the carburetor and the fuel lines, and I will guess it runs very good. It has top compression, and it started right up, and I cleaned it a little, but it was a little not even in continuous run. But I found out it was something about the fuel support, and it has nothing to do with the ignition, as far as I know. So it will be, it looks very good and nice, even if it was old and the chain was rusty to the bar, so you couldn't check if it's turned, the chain turned or anything. I didn't check nothing. I paid $50 for that. So that one probably is a good bargain too. But the man I bought this partner R22 from, He also sold me an R16, which need carburetor rebuilt, new diaphragm pump, and gaskets in the carburetor, and clean of the carburetor in ultrasonic cleaner. But other than that, it's started to right up, and that's a very good machine. I don't know exactly the difference between this and the R22 here, besides the heat in the handle and the safety mechanism, which this one has a brake, chain brake. The R16 does not have a chain brake, and as I understand, the R16 came in 1967, so it makes it. What does it make it? It makes it 55 a year or something old. 67. 67, 2007, 40, 50, yeah, 55 years old. But it's probably from around 1970, so it makes it 52, 53 year old. And they have, yeah, in the list I see, the R16 could have a 22-inch bar, but this R22 could only have 18, I think it was, or 15 recommended. But to me, I don't understand that. They have the same cc, the same cylinder, piston, bore, and stroke millimeter. So why, I don't understand. And both have, I guess, 3.2 horsepower. Very solid, running good, and as you could see, this is a very stable running. Starts very good. So far, I've just known it for some minutes now, this chainsaw, but many of them, if they works, they're very good, stable, and impressive. Could use it and have very good use for it now, even 50 years old Swedish chainsaw. So I don't really know too much about the difference, why the R16 is recommended longer bar. I don't really know. But that's, I see some others like these R16s very much. Very good chainsaw. So, well, happy to have a good bargain. But the point I wanted to say, I almost forgot, that the R16 I also got for $10. So, wow, very good bargain, very good chainsaws for very little dollar. About $20 for two chainsaws, partner R22 and partner R16. And it was the old R16s too, with white switches on choke and stop and on switch was white. And no safety stop. But maybe I can take a cover from another box chainsaw like this and put a chain brake safety cover on it, but that's not the original, but it's likely it will fit. I tried to do that maybe, because of course it's more comfortable to have the chain brake. It feels more like the safety is on place, but with it on or not, the chain brake, I will use the R17 if I have opportunity to, or I sell it. I will use it for bucking, as it's very good and quick, very good for bucking and yeah, in general use. It's not too heavy, and it runs, probably will run great and good. So that's amazing. So you could admire these old chainsaws, and you need to have use for it. Very useful, very good. that's such a quality, and things exist. Happy feeling. I take that little stump too.